Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. In a surprising move, the Miami Dolphins have made a change to their defensive line, announcing two roster moves that could have a big impact down the road. On Tuesday, the Dolphins revealed that they had claimed defensive tackle Matthew Butler off waivers from the Las Vegas Raiders. The move comes with a corresponding roster adjustment as Miami waived defensive tackle Trayvon Rybka in order to make space for Butler. This is the kind of decision that could signal a shift in Miami's defensive strategy, or perhaps a sign of a more long-term focus on strengthening the defensive front. Matthew Butler, 25, is no stranger to the NFL, but his career has been a bit of a roller coaster so far. A former fifth-round pick by the Raiders in the 2022 draft, Butler signed a 4-year, $3.9 million contract. Despite the initial promise, things didn't quite go according to plan for Butler in Las Vegas. A year after being drafted, he was waived and found himself on the practice squad, a position that's often seen as a stepping stone for players trying to earn their place on the active roster. Butler's journey has been one of bouncing between the active roster and the practice squad with the Raiders. After his waiver by Las Vegas this week, the Dolphins swooped in and claimed him off waivers, making it clear they saw potential in the young defensive tackle. It's also worth noting that the Dolphins' decision to bring in Butler follows a series of moves aimed at strengthening the defense, which has been an area of focus for the team. Butler's skill set, though not yet fully developed, offers Miami a chance to see what he can bring to their defensive scheme. In 2024, Butler appeared in 7 games for the Raiders, making 1 start. His stats weren't overwhelming, recording just 9 tackles and no sacks. But sometimes it's not about the numbers. The Dolphins might see something in Butler that the Raiders couldn't fully unlock. After all, it's not uncommon for teams to give players a second chance, especially when they come from a system that may not have suited their talents. Miami could very well be the team that helps Butler take that next step in his career. The decision to waive Trayvon Rybka comes with a bit of intrigue. Rybka, a defensive tackle for the Dolphins, hadn't quite made the same impact as some of his teammates, which may explain why the team decided to move on from him. Rybka's release creates an opportunity for Butler to step in and show what he can do in Miami's defensive system. It's also worth mentioning that Miami has made a strong push in recent seasons to bolster their defense, so any move that adds depth to the line is something the team likely feels could pay off. Butler's acquisition by Miami represents another example of how NFL teams are constantly in search of talent that could help elevate their roster, even if that talent is still in development. At just 25 years old, Butler still has plenty of potential to grow into a key player for the Dolphins. His time with the Raiders, while not spectacular, wasn't a failure either. With the Dolphins coaching staff and their system, it's possible that Butler could find the consistency he's been missing and develop into a solid contributor. Still with us? And then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments what's your take on the Fins this week. For the Dolphins, defensive line depth has been a concern in recent years. And with this move, they are clearly looking to address that issue. Butler may not be an immediate star, but his addition provides the team with more options, especially as they look to maintain a competitive defense throughout the season. It's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about finding players who can help the team be more dynamic, whether they're starting or coming off the bench. The Dolphins front office has shown time and again that they're willing to take calculated risks on players with potential. They've made moves in the past that have paid off, and Butler could be the latest example of that strategy working in their favor. For Butler, this could be a career-defining moment, as playing in Miami could give him the opportunity to prove that he belongs in the NFL. Sometimes, all a player needs is a fresh start with a new team. And for Butler, this could be exactly what he needs to get his career back on track. As Miami continues to make roster adjustments, the focus will remain on building a strong team that can compete in the ultra-competitive AFC East. While Butler's arrival won't instantly solve all of the Dolphins' defensive line concerns, it adds another layer of depth that could pay dividends in the long run. It's all about finding the right fit, and Miami seems to believe that Butler could be just that. The Dolphins are always on the lookout for ways to improve, and this latest move shows that they aren't afraid to make bold decisions. With the offseason in full swing, there are still plenty of moves to be made, and it will be interesting to see how this one plays out. Matthew Butler now has the chance to prove himself in a new environment, and with the right coaching and development, he could become a valuable piece of Miami's defensive future. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!